The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad. It's the Pod Squad. The Pod Squad.
It's like a judge. I mean, they can be interviewed here.
Job interview with one of those committee
Virtual job
interviews.
Yes.
So, how will you arrange transportation to the new job, young lady?
Foresee yourself in.
You mean I can't take the school bus?
Do you consider yourself as a self-starter?
Hell no.
We're the judges. So why do you want to be a singer?
Because my mom told me I had a really good voice.
I didn't like it. I loved it.
Simon Cowell?
Yes, that's my Simon Cowell.
I want to be Simon.
Well, you are wearing the black shirt, so he's probably more appropriate.
Hi, everyone.
Are we on? Are we recording?
We're recording.
Okay.
I'll take back what I said. My goodness. We're going to be here a while.
Yeah, we actually get to see Jose's
My notes?
actual
Oh,
notes.
wow.
I actually did my work. Lou.
What?
My notes are right here. They're on, I don't know, Google.
As usual, I did my research while they're trying to log in. Well, under pressure.
It's an example to the rest of us, yes.
So I'm the slacker.
So, well, how's everybody doing?
At least you're not the lazy Susan. We talked about this.
We did not talk about it. She brought it up.
Yeah.
I said, no, she's going to get upset. No, I didn't bring that up. Okay.
So an hour and 15 minutes later.
Uh-huh. It took us forever to get set up. We are, as you can see, in Victor's house.
Cavazos.
We're finally together in person.
First episode, live as a group.
Yes. I'm getting to know them now.
We started this when COVID first hit, so we were never able to do the podcast in person, with each other. So this is our first.
Might be our last. Depending on.
Oh man, don't say that.
we talked about doing this for quite a while now. It's finally come to fruition.
And you know, with all those notes that Jose has, we're probably going to be finishing this in candlelight.
Yeah, I thought it was one book, not all.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
How you doing, Susan?
Better. I still have a cough, but I'm finding negative now.
Yay!
Yay!
I can't believe I got it though. It did.
Any idea where you got it? Was it at work?
It had to be work. I hadn't been anywhere.
All year long, you
Yes, I know.
stay away from it, and then at the very end of the year, boom, somebody gave it to you.
Mm.
More people weren't wearing masks, so.
You went. Yeah.
No, I
If
know.
y'all get it, you got it from the cat, not from me. Okay, because I got all my shots.
I just heard on the radio today that Mick Jagger has COVID. So
Yes.
Oh,
they
yes.
canceled some dates in Europe.
Yes.
Wow.
So we wish him well.
Yes.
Mick, you hang in there.
Yes. Hang in there, Nick.
Yes.
Get some satisfaction, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
Nick.
Yeah, who's Nick?
Nick. Sorry.
Nick and
Nick and both of them. Both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so knock on wood, I haven't gotten it, and hopefully you won't. I'm worried about monkeypox now. Yeah, I've seen the kids at work tend to like, and they're like kissing each other and like petting each other, like get away from each other. So yeah, I don't want any monkeypox. They'll be the first ones to spread it around.
Are you acting like monkeys?
Yes.
Petting each other.
More than usual. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so do we want to get started with our topic?
I guess so, because like you said, we are up against the sunset. So
Sun is our source of light
otherwise
today.
we're going to have to be using our phone.
I know you all can't see it, but we have a
Flashlights.
beautiful window in front of us with a seascape view.
Yeah.
That's what
See the ships coming into the harbor. Yes.
dolphins.
Dolphins.
No, I can't do a dolphin. No.
That's a dolphin.
Yeah, that does not sound like a dolphin to me. I don't know what that is.
You get out of the water. That's a New York, Brooklyn dolphin. Get out of there. So, Brooklyn Dolphins. Yeah.
Well, our topic today was going to be, or is going to be, books turned into movies. We decided to go a little literary and talk about maybe a book that has been turned into a movie that maybe we liked or that we recommend, or I don't know, whatever. It's like,
Now it's whatever.
yes, talk about a book that's been turned into a movie. So I don't know who wants to. Should we let the note keeper?
Nah,
go
you
first?
guys go first.
Yeah. I don't want to go because I know we're. I want to make sure I get it done before the sun goes down.
All right.
You don't have to.
And I do claim home court advantage today, so we're at my house. So
Yes.
Ooh,
That way when he
no
gets
doubt.
I'm gonna go to the restroom. Yeah, go there. You know,
Does he walk in?
take out the trash, do some laundry. You guys still here? Yeah, you know, I'll be.
I finished my part. I'm taking that.
I'll go ahead and start. So, like I was telling y'all in a previous conversation we had off camera, I learned about this movie backwards. I'll go on like I told y'all last time. When I was a little kid, they used to show cartoons, and one of the cartoons featured a dog and a squirrel, and the dog was really dumb. Okay, and the squirrel's name was George. So he would say, "Hey, George," and he would pet him, and eventually, by the time the movie was over, the dog had killed the squirrel by crushing him to death because he loved the squirrel so much that he hugged the squirrel to death, literally. And so, yes, these are the kind of cartoons I grew up on, which explains a lot. So I thought it was funny because I was like, oh, that's a goofy dog. You know, I didn't know any better. So then later on, as an adult, I became a fan of Gary Sinise. And Gary Sinise and John Malkovich made a movie called Of Mice and Men. So mind you, up to this point, I still had not read the book. So I went to the movie mainly because I was a Gary Sinise fan, and I sat there and watched the movie, and this is a really good movie. And then when the end came, I was like, wow, I was totally not expecting that at all. But then I also realized that that's the cartoon I was watching as a kid was making a reference to this book. So it all kind of came around full circle. So it was a very good movie. And in preparation for our meeting today, I I didn't have time to read the book, but I listened to it on audio on what is it?
Audible.
Audible. Yes. And I'm glad I did, because I was kind of wondering if the book and the movie were faithful to each other, and they were. The movie that I saw with Gary Sinise and John Malkovich was very, very almost word for word from the novel as well. Very good movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but it does have a great ending, and it's something that leaves you thinking, about life and stuff like that. Of course, it was written by John Steinbeck. Yes, and he wrote a lot of novels back in the Depression era. So this setting for this book and this movie is in the Depression era, and so that's the setting for it. And it's a really good story. I recommend it, and it's one of the ones. It's kind of funny how I came to know this movie and the book. I kind of learned it backwards, but I did learn about it. And then I found out that was actually the one with Malkovich and Sinise was actually a remake. There was another version that came out way back. Burgess Meredith, who actually played the role of George, and Lon Chaney Jr. played Lenny, the bigger guy. And I later saw that on one of those streaming networks, and I was like, oh, so that was a remake. So I still like the Gary Sinise version better. It's more updated. It's color, of course. Quality is a little better. But that's the story that I'm bringing to the meeting today, because that was the one. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other ones. Planet of the Apes was originally a book. The Thing came from a book called Who Goes There? So that's all based on a book too. But the one I featured today was Mice and Men. Really great book, really great movie, and strongly recommend it. So that's my contribution today. And now I'm off to do laundry. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Unfortunately, I'm going to stick around for a while. Sorry, everybody. So,
Unfortunately,
yeah. Unfortunately, still going to be here making faces while the rest of them talk. So, yeah. So now y'all get to see what I do when y'all are talking all the time. So, I'm always doing something goofy. So I yield the floor.
Which you said? Did you only see? I forgot. I'm sorry.
She wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
When you first started talking about the
Drink away from her.
she zoned out. It was kind of,
Did
Take it
you
away.
which version of the movie? You said you watched the Gary Sinise.
The version of the movie that I saw in its entirety is the Gary Sinise and John Malkovich.
Did you see the other ones?
I no, not in its entirety.
You haven't. Oh, okay. I was wondering if
No.
you had like a favorite.
Oh, I like as I said, the Gary Sinise version.
Take a drink away from her.
But you didn't watch the other ones entirely.
No, but I did say it's a better quality. It's in color.
Okay.
These are more relevant actors because
which book did you like better?
Burgess Meredith, as you know, wants to be Rocky's manager. So as he was an older man, he was also the Penguin in Batman. But he's a much younger man in this movie because it was made back, I think, in 1949 or 50, something like that. Long time
Oh my
ago.
gosh.
Yeah, before I was even born. That was a long time ago.
That's right, yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He was the Penguin in the original Batman.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, he was.
Yeah.
It's almost as old as me. So yes, so no, the Gary Sinise version is the one that I
That's the
saw.
one that you preferred. Okay.
Yes, and like I said, it's very faithful to the book.
All right.
I yield the floor again.
Again.
I went to the Q&A portion with Belinda, so.
For those that weren't listening, the first one was
What was it again? What? It was
like, what?
What? Oh, yeah. You're talking.
I got a blank
You said
stare
something,
everywhere.
Victor. I'm sorry. Did you say? Yes.
I was looking at your
So-
postal
yeah,
view. I'm
So,
sorry.
She's just hurting my feelings.
I think it's a drink behind that other drink.
Yes.
That's
it
why
is.
you can't see it.
Okay.
Doing its damage already.
Mike, do you want to go next?
Who else wants to be ignored?
Oh, that's Jose's
I
thing.
will not be ignored.
I'm curious what Jose has written.
I know.
He's got like a whole-
This is page one right here.
Big old teacher's pet over here trying to get.
5 pages of notes. He wrote a book about the book.
Oh my goodness. We're not at the solstice yet, Jose, okay? It's the longest day of the year. We're not quite there yet, so we're going to have to move on.
Do you want to go, or Susan, do you want to go?
I was hoping Jose would go.
Oh, you wanted to go?
Yeah.
No.
You want to go at the end? Not like he's got like 25 different stories and books.
Okay,
I've probably written everything that we've all going to talk about. So
Every movie that has been made from a book is on his list.
Mike's going to say, "Oh, I was going to talk about that one, but you talked about it."
Well, we know what Mike wants to do. He just wants to.
He wants to promote the Pod Squad.
That too. That as well. Yeah.
No.
I just figured, that Jose would want to go before it got dark. Since he's going to be there a
In the
while.
dark here, so I can't read the rest of my notes here. It's dark.
But no, I'll go next. Okay. So, I figured, man, I'm here with a bunch of educators. They're going to pick all these deep books and literary giants and, critically acclaimed movies. And I'm over here trying to decide between The Grinch and Cat in the Hat. No, I'm kidding. No, it's a book that I read as a teenager in school, and it just resonated with me, hit home, because it was I could just connect with the film and the book, and I read the book first before the book came out in the 60s, 67, I believe, and I probably read it in the mid 70s. Film was made in 1983. It's The Outsiders. Francis Ford Coppola film. Had quite the ensemble cast in the film. It's just one of those coming of age movies that I think transcends different eras. It doesn't matter if you're a kid reading it now or a kid reading it back in the 70s like I was. I mean, a lot of the stuff just still relates to what teenagers go through. Great cast. I love Tony Boy, he was great in it, and Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio got a lot of acclaim for his work on the film. But the book stayed pretty true, or the film stayed pretty true to the book, and I was pleased with that. I watched films that they just basically rewrite the book, but not The Outsiders. It had a budget of $10 million. It made $33 million at the box office back in 1983, which are impressive numbers. The cast was, stars of today: Diane Lane, Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Ralph Macchio. Who am I forgetting? Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez. Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those films that you can watch over and over and over again, and it dealt with a lot of stuff that kids go through: the peer pressure, the economic differences that kids categorize themselves in. Rich kids, poor kids, and the thing that really got me was Ralph Macchio, and his character is basically at the end of his life, and he had always talked about ending his life. He hated his life, and now that he was facing that as a reality, he wanted to keep. I believe the line is 16 years isn't enough. So many kids don't realize today how precious life is, and I just see it over and over again. I hate my life. And there's just so much out there to be grateful for, and I just felt like this film brought a lot of that, to the forefront, what kids go through. And there are no adults. There are no adults except for maybe a school teacher or a police officer in the film. All the characters are 20 years old, which is Derry. Patrick Swayze's character was 20 in the film.
I think he was pretty much the adult in that situation.
He was the
He had to
adult.
be.
And, it's all teenage kids. And it's a great film and a great book if you get to read the book or go see the film. I highly recommend it. Oh, by the way, S.C. Hinton was a teenager when she wrote the book herself. Based in Oklahoma, set in Oklahoma in the 60s. Highly recommend it. One of my favorites.
I didn't know that she was a girl. Or the author.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, I guess he was
Yeah.
a guy's initials. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of curious. I don't know if you know when it was written, because I know that back in the day, a lot of women used initials instead of their actual names because they were kind of segregated.
Yeah, 1967. I believe.
Yeah, that would have been about the time. Because I know there's some women who wrote for Star Trek who used the initials instead of their actual first name because they were afraid of being discriminated against. So I don't know if that might have been the case also.
I'm sure it was. Yeah. But I agree that it was a really good movie and a really good book. I didn't quite identify with the characters, mostly because they were all male, even though a woman did write the book.
Diane Lane, she was probably the only female.
I think she was probably the only female character that had any importance in the story. But the story is good. Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they still show it in the classrooms today. So yeah, as a teacher, since you
Do they still read it?
Yes, we finished reading it this year. The 8th graders.
Really?
Just,
I believe it was a librarian in California. I could look up her name. That her and her class were the ones that encouraged Francis Ford Coppola to make the book into a film.
Oh, and just another on the sideline note. His daughter Sophia actually makes a small appearance in the movie too.
Oh.
Yeah. After a Matt Dillon character gets them out of the church and takes them to go get food, they're parked in the parking lot of this like Dairy Queen kind of place, and this girl approaches them and asks them if they have money, and he kind of chases her away. Yeah, get out of here, because he's got a gun with him. He chases her away. That's Sofia Coppola, who went on to be a well-known director for something.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
Excellent movie.
Yeah, yes it is.
Springboard for a whole bunch of them, bunch of actors.
Lots of careers, yes.
Tom Cruise,
Big
was it Tom
careers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, that's a good movie choice.
Do it for John.
Stay
golden,
Pony Boy.
What a good quote scheme.
Okay, well, I have one, but mine is a sucky movie. I don't know if Susan wants to go
vampire
first.
movie? What do you mean?
It is not a vampire movie, but there is some creature in the movie. Anyway. I don't know. Susan, do you want to go next?
No.
No?
No.
Plain and simple, no. I like that. You're being direct. Okay.
She's not actually here, so she could go after dark.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
We'll be in the dark.
Yeah, we'll be in the dark. We'll be club for silver.
Let's see. Well, we have that. Just ignore whatever's on our screen there.
Okay. But it's my turn now, right?
Is it-
Oh, is it the right time? Oh, it's his turn now.
Wait,
My book was.
That's terrible.
So I well, let me just go ahead. I'll go ahead and do my movie because mine's going to be short. I picked a movie. Well, I picked a book that I thought was really interesting when I read it, but they made the movie like a movie out of it and totally bombed. It was not anything like what I expected. I actually chose a story, a classic story, a very old-timey author. It's actually he's actually considered more of a gothic author. Like his stories are very gothic. This story, however, was a little different. He decided he was going to make a detective story. And this is actually considered the very first detective story in history.
Oh.
So it actually is considered a detective story because it's like a procedural, and you're looking at clues, and the detective is trying to find out what's going on. The movie was totally not anything like that.
My interest is piqued.
All right. So the movie is Murders in the Rue Morgue. The story was written by Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm sure everybody knows like The Raven. Yes. All of the House of Usher, a bunch of different stories that are really, really good. The Pendulum, the Telltale Heart. Yeah. But yeah, this one was a detective story, and it starts off with a detective going to look in on a couple of women who have a break-in and a murder at their house. And he's trying to figure out like who committed the murder and, the break-in. He does figure it out. In the movie, though, it takes a very sharp left turn right at the beginning. There are two versions of it. One that was made in the 70s and one that was made, I believe, back in the 30s. Let me just double check here and make sure. Yes, 1932. And neither of them really, they're not exactly true to the story. One of them has more like there is like a carnival scene, and it's a little inappropriate at the beginning. They're using language. I guess that was all right for that time, but now we would kind of look on it and frown.
Could you give us some of that dialogue?
So no, I will not give you any of the dialogue because I do not approve of it. But I will say it is kind of racist. Yeah. So if you don't want to watch any of that, don't watch the 1932 version. The 70s version is a little bit better, but the story is still off. They kind of turned the villain into like this. Let me just say there is a creature involved, so that's kind of where it's still kind of, Edgar Allan Poe's, they're staying in that neighborhood, but it is a gorilla, and the movie like has the trainer training the gorilla to go look for a human mate, which is like just totally ridiculous.
That's bananas.
Yeah, that is bananas.
It's like people the food column or something here. Like, they
something like that.
The idea
Probably. Yeah. It is just not anything like what the original book was like. So I don't want to give the ending away, but there is a gorilla in the story, and it does feature really major in the story, and it does have to do with the murder and the break-in because somebody's trying to steal some stuff.
I'm tempted to tell you to give away all the spoilers since it's a terrible movie anyway.
Well, I mean, in the movie, they do end up with the same results as in the book. That's why I don't want to give the spoilers. But the spoilers are that you probably don't want to watch the 30s movie. And the story, the gorilla part of it with the trainer is really off. One of them has the gorilla look, they're trying to get a mate for the gorilla. And in the 70s movie, they have the trainer kind of wearing a mask a la Phantom of the Opera. And it's just like what is this? What are we watching kind of thing. I do not recommend that movie. But that was the movie I picked because I do love Edgar Allan Poe movies. And there's a bunch of them with oh gosh, what?
Vincent Price?
Yes, thank you. With Vincent Price, which is one of my all-time favorite actors. And so I really love those movies, but this is not one you want to watch. So there's a warning for you guys.
Strangely enough, I actually saw that there's a color version.
Yes, that's the 70s one.
Okay, I saw that in middle school.
Did you really?
They actually, because they would do it like once a month. You would pay 50 cents to get out of class to go to the auditorium and watch a movie.
Oh.
And I was actually one of the projectionists.
Mm.
And one of the movies we showed was Murder of the Rue Morgue. It was a weird place to see a movie like
I was
that.
gonna say,
Yeah. I don't know who picked the movie, but we had it running and we would switch reels because it was on 2 reels and
We're
everything.
showing out like Lighthouse movies.
Yeah. it was kind of weird.
Movies.
It was kind of weird. I remember I got bored. I was just like, oh,
Blackula.
Wasn't very good, right? Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't exactly like a teenage werewolf, something like that. We showed that one, and I was really into that one, but this one, it was kind of like, I didn't find it that interesting. When of course, I was like a teenager, little kid, middle school kid, so I don't know, maybe I was expecting more, I don't know, but I remember my takeaway was like, meh, that's that.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't very good at all, so yeah.
So which one of the two? It was the lesser of the two.
The lesser of the two evils is going to be the 70s one, only because of the language, but the stories still don't line up. They're not true to the book. So.
Neither one.
Neither one.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're going to go to, I don't know, Susan or Jose, but we're going to take a break first. So we'll be right back.
Just getting warmed up.
Can you hear it okay, Susan?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. You want to go next? You don't have a choice. I'm just going to go last.
You rock, paper, scissors. I can't see what you're doing. You're going to be like, oh,
open paw, close paw.
What is that?
I was doing a closing cap. I was doing a little thing. Like that.
Which is another book.
Oh, there you go.
Is that a book?
I'm sure it's on his list.
I didn't know that was a book.
All right.
Yeah, it's on page 9.
Okay, I'll go because nowhere near what you guys had. So it'll be quick because I didn't know what I don't. As usual, I need to go to meetings because you guys discuss what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what the meetings are for, Susan.
Sorry, COVID doesn't let me. I could have gone and played off, and then get everyone sick. Like someone did.
Thank you for not doing that.
But so when you gave it the assignment, actually I got stressed. Yes.
Stressed?
Of course, stressed.
She thought she had to do a page of notebook full of notes.
First of all, I was thinking, have I read books? Have I have there been movies before books? It's been, and I go, okay, yeah. So,
you read books? What are you
hold on. Hold on. I got a cat thing going here.
Oh.
We got a cat too.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I read books, but I didn't know how we were doing this. If it was a book that I just didn't know. So, anyways, I forgot. Yeah, all the books you mentioned. Well, except for what's it called? Yours, Belinda's, and that's way too classic. I didn't read that one. So, yeah.
Way too classy.
I actually didn't. I didn't read the one that Victor talked about either. Another classic. I didn't think about classics, which I think are more actually closer to the movies, or the movies are more closer to the books because, the classics don't have like special effects and all that.
Well, not my choice. That one was not anything close to
Yeah,
it.
a guy in a gorilla suit.
It still wasn't. It's not like the things I read. Well, I've read. See, The last thing I read. Okay. I don't know what to say. The last one I read and was a Stephen King book, and unfortunately his books don't always translate well into movies. So, I thought this one wasn't too bad though. The sequel to The Shining, the second one.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, Doctor Sleep. Yeah, and it was as well. It was a good book, And I kept thinking, well, how are they going to do it? How are they going to make the movie? How are they going to bring the chef back? He, I mean, in the other book, he was alive, but in the movie, he was killed off.
What?
Oh, whatever.
I was gonna watch it tonight. I had on my queue at home, and then now.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, Stephen King didn't really like that version. What was his name? Standing.
The Shining one?
Yeah, the second. Yeah, because there was a TV movie version of it too, and actually that was closer to what Stephen King had in mind for the book Shining.
Better than the other one. I wonder if he liked it better than the first one.
Good question. I didn't research. Sorry, I didn't do my 5 pages of research.
Just wanted to ask you a question.
But it was closer to the book, yeah. So, the usual, the book, it had the story was there, yes. And of course, they made the effects were not, bad for being Stephen King. It wasn't as gory as his other, books are, which is a change.
Yeah.
Just after, usually if I read a Stephen King book, I have to take a break and read something stupid or, because it gets intense. Yeah. But, so I didn't know how you guys were going. So I was like, okay, yeah, that movie kind of followed it, but not all the way. I mean, I don't want to give anything away now if no one wants to read. Well, the character in the book is actually related to the original boy, Danny, who's an adult there.
Yeah.
So that's the weird part, And it's not mentioned really, actually all in the movie. But in the book it is, they're related, distant. And I don't want to say how.
Yeah.
Raises up questions. How? Of course, and then I thought, okay, no, not that one. How about, I've been reading the Harry Potter movies and see, I was all over the place.
It's one of the symptoms of COVID, I think.
Yeah. True. So, and then, how do I say? I think a classic would be much closer, but I can't recall reading too many classics that have been movies. A couple of Jane Austens. Okay, let's do it this way. The one, the Little Women. Yeah, that's an old one. The recent movie they made of it, awful. Okay.
Really?
It just went the weird way. It didn't go the way the book was. It went, I don't know, like it was these characters just don't watch it, okay? Either watch the old one or the one with Katharine Hepburn or even the one with Winona Ryder. Those are better. So, but
yeah, I heard the newer one kind of like the characters were not like exactly true to the way she had written them, so I didn't watch it.
Not at all. Yeah, it was like way off. Like what? It was just it was, yeah, way off from that one. But I mean, that's a classic one, since you guys are going that way. And I was thinking the other way. I was thinking modern. So I only could say,
You can pick whatever you want.
I know, but it was hard. Like I was stressing out. I haven't read these books since the movies come out. And the movies have been around for a while now. And I was thinking about what Victor said. He said he did the audio version, and I was thinking, should I reread and do all this stuff again?
That's the first movie that popped into my head, and I said, "Yeah, that's a good example because of the way I learned about it." But I still haven't read the book technically. I just had it read to me on the computer, which was good because it only took 4 hours. Because if I had read it, it would take me 4 years to read the book. So I was able to get it done, But that's why that. It wasn't like I was trying to go with the classic, but I do read a lot of classics. I wanted to pick a movie that I actually read, and I hadn't read that one yet, but I said, that's a good movie, so I want to read that. So I read it. It had nothing to do with it. It was a classic, so it just happened to be.
So which one did you end up picking? Which one did you end up choosing?
I had too many. I mean,
so you didn't choose one. You're just okay.
I'm all over the place.
Process.
Yeah.
Too many to choose. They're all good.
There are a bunch. Almost every movie is based on.
They're not all good. They're not all good.
No, they're not.
Hey, okay, let's put it this way: Jurassic Park. I read that book. I remember before it came out.
That's true.
And it's not. It doesn't go with the movie. It had parts missing, which actually turned up in the second movie they made.
Oh,
so weird. So.
That would have been a good one to pick because you obviously have a little background on that. Yeah.
I did like that book. I mean, I reread it actually, and I read a couple of others books too. Michael Crichton, I think. So.
A lot of those
And then
movies, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah, quite a few.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that would be my favorite. But yeah, it didn't follow the book to the T,
Mm-hmm.
But I found it weird that they put part of it in the second movie. So, because I was going, hey, how come that one didn't come out? And where's that? And, the birds and the bird cage. And, well, what do you know? It's in the second movie. So that's where they got, I guess, their next storyline. Now, the third one, I don't know where they got that from. That one's totally all over the place.
Writer's room.
The screenwriter, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Millions more.
I did. As far as your the Little Women book, I love that book. That's such an awesome book, and I did like the movies, but they just there was just so much more going on in the book than in the movie. It's like so many little nuances were lost that I would have liked to have seen, but it was a pretty good movie. But the last one, after I heard that the characters were changed around a bit, I was like, no, I don't think I'm gonna watch another one.
I watched it and they were all regular sized, so I couldn't figure out.
But
I was like, this isn't like a book. They're little. All regular
but
size.
I'm bummed.
Oh.
You need some sound effects now. But I want to hear Jose's long list.
I know we're ready to hear.
Time has come.
I have to ask, how many of the movies we've discussed so far are on your list?
Better not disappoint.
Have we?
Oh wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
You're like, ready, yeah.
Belinda's not the only one that doesn't pay attention.
I'm over here talking to him. He's like, hello. Wait, Will. No, my question was how many of what we discussed are on your list?
Oh, none of them.
Oh! No editing here.
This is all just
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
no. I'm just kidding. It's 2 movies.
Yeah.
But I'll just do the one because I know.
Go ahead, you can do the two.
No,
We still have sunlight.
The one.
I can see you guys clearly. We can do both.
None of us can fade into black yet on this.
Well, that's what I thought. You're going to be doing research and giving background and stuff. So no, like off the top of it, like the Cliff Notes version.
Well, like,
I promise next time I'll do more research.
because like last time when we did the blues, you taught us a lot about the history of the blues. So I'm looking forward to what you have to say.
Victor, what did he teach us?
About
I know.
how,
What was it?
of course, into that part.
Lenny here. What's
Text me. What was it?
We're going to live off the fat of the land. I'm going to tend the rabbits.
Are we ready? All right, here we go. All right, so the book that I picked that got turned into a movie is a book. It's a book. It comes from a book called The Four Seasons by Stephen King. It's a 1982 book, and it's broken up into 4 parts, 4 stories. 3 of the stories have been made into movies. The one that I picked was called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, which got made into a movie called The Shawshank Redemption, 1994. Tim Robbins, right, comes out as Andy Dufresne. Morgan Freeman is Ellis Red Redding. Bob Gunton, most people probably don't know, but he's a character actor, comes out as the warden. So you see the movie, you know who that guy is.
Yep.
He plays a real good bad guy. Clancy Brown, also another good character actor. He's the guy that plays the head guard.
That's what Mr. Krabs.
There you go, that guy. Was directed by Frank Darabont. Frank Darabont, right before the movie, had only 1 screenwriting credit, and that was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. So he wanted to buy the rights to make the movie, or the book into a movie, and Stephen King told him it's not going to make any money. So he paid him $5,000. He gave him a $5,000 check to Stephen King to make the movie, and of course the movie made like millions of dollars. So he gave him back actually, King didn't even cash the check. He just put it in a frame. And on the frame it said, in case you ever need bail money, loves to give it back to him. He never cashed the check. He just gave it back to him after he made the movie. Let's see. Rob Reiner was supposed to direct it originally, who also directed another Stephen King movie, which was everybody knows?
The Body?
No. Oh, yeah, he did The Body, which got turned into Stand By Me, and also Misery, I think it was, right? Didn't he also do that one?
He did do that one, I think.
I think he did that one, yeah.
I think he did do that one.
Tom Cruise was set to play the lead. So it was Harrison Ford was supposed to play Red.
Oh.
They were both, but then
Really?
they had conflicting schedules with other movies, so they ended up not doing it. Of course, I don't know if you guys know, in the book, Red is Irish. That's why they call him Red. But in the movie, Freeman, I think one of the producers said that they had seen him in some like Broadway play or something, and they said he was so good that they wanted him for the role, right?
Good
And he has a line in the role, right? In that movie, right, where he says,
So why do they call you Red? He says, maybe it's because I'm Irish, which of course he's not.
he's black. Some of the actors that were considered for Andy's part, besides Tom Cruise, Gene Hackman, Robert Duvall, Clint Eastwood, Paul Newman. Let's see. Tom Cruise said he didn't. Oh, the reason he quit was because he didn't believe in Darabont since it was only a second movie. So it was his first movie directing. He didn't just write it, but he directed the movie too. Tom Hanks, Kevin Costner, We're also tied to it. Johnny Depp, Nicolas Cage,
Wow.
Charlie Sheen were in the role for the guy named Robbie or Johnny or something. He's the young guy that he meets in jail that clears, well, kind of like knows information that might clear his name.
The rockabilly guy.
There you go, that guy, exactly. Brad Pitt was also up for the role also, but he was doing, he had just done Thelma and Louise, which was very popular. So he was like, I don't want anything to do with this.
So I got to stop. I'm amazed because Stephen King didn't think it would make any money, and
Tom Cruise didn't have faith in the director.
Yeah, he was only his second movie.
Yeah.
Yet all these big time actors were
set up.
I'm amazed that they would even want to be in this movie because they didn't have a pedigree.
But they all passed up on it, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know, or maybe they did. I don't know.
So did all those people want to be in the movie and didn't get it, or were they just
That's a
people
good
they
question.
were looking at?
I don't know.
Because if they had read that story, I would have jumped on that movie. There's no way I would have been like, nah.
But you said that now because you're like now.
No. But I read the story way before the movie came out.
But
Wow.
also because I think what you have to consider the script because the script is nothing like the book.
True.
The book and the script are very different. Yeah, because that's one of the books that I did read.
And that was one of the things that King said. King was saying that he believed that when Darabont came to him and asked him to do the movie, King told him, "Go ahead, do the movie. I don't think you can do it because there's nothing really in the story. It's a short story. You know, you can't make this into a movie. There's not enough stuff there." Yeah. And he ended up like fleshing it out to 2 hours. So he added a lot of things to the movie. Some of the characters, he kind of fleshed them out a little bit. Added some characters that weren't in the book. So I mean, I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I think like that sequence at the end when Red gets out of jail, is that in the book?
I don't remember. There's some parts in there. It's been a long time since I read the book.
It's a lot of enhancements.
Let's see. It was considered a box office flop because when it came out, there were two other movies that came out at the same time. Two little known movies, one called Forrest Gump and the other one Pulp Fiction. So it was competing against those two movies. And I think it was like in 5th or 6th place in that first week that it was released. But the only reason that it's kind of become very popular is because they started putting it, first of all, VHS. When it came out on VHS, a lot of people were renting it. It was one of the most rented movies of that year.
Susan, this is where you say, "What's that?"
It stands for video.
What is that?
Okay.
Did it come in 4-pack? If it was a 2-hour movie?
Oh, worse.
And then of course, I think like on TV now they show it like 24 hours on like one channel, like
on the Shawshank Redemption channel.
Yeah, there you go. They show it all the time.
Every time I come across it, I'll stop and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they were saying that these guys, even up until recently, were still receiving 6-figure residuals from the movie.
Wow.
So that because they keep repeating it so many times on TV and it's just so
So
popular.
the little mouse gets residuals too.
What? The mouse?
Oh, that's a
That's
Green
Green
Mile.
Mile.
No, there's a mouse in that one too.
Is there?
Yeah.
The Shawshank Redemption?
Yes. Doesn't he get smashed?
No, that's the Green Mile.
Oh, is that the Green Mile?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Which
I'll go back to sleep.
It's also a Craig Darabont.
I was gonna say he also did that
Okay.
too. So then the movie finally kind of got also, I guess after it first came out, got a little bit of kind of like a second wind a little bit because they got nominated for some Academy Awards, but it didn't win any of them. So that's kind of crazy. But then again, it was up against Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump. So yeah.
And how often do you come across Pulp Fiction on TV?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Prison's still there. Prison at the
Tourist attraction.
tourist attraction. And let's see.
It's actually more of a tourist attraction because it's considered haunted.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Okay.
little bit of trivia
There
there.
we go. And then the local businesses sell Shawshankwitches.
What?
That's what they were saying. Yeah, they try to like capitalize off of the
Sandwiches?
not Shankwitches. That was a G. Sandwich.
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 Sandwiches? Sandwiches. I don't know.
Hey,
waiting
give
for
me a
that.
sandwich.
Well, you really did a deep dive on that.
I'm just sort of like looking into it. And then the last thing, it's got one of the highest approvals on Rotten Tomatoes. My favorite.
Yay!
That's one.
Oh, damn, there's another one.
The Green Mile?
No.
Go ahead.
No,
I want to hear it.
Talking about
I want to hear it.
Ape and all this other stuff.
You know, when we started the show, it was his last day of school, and now he's got to go back because it's already August.
That's the only good one.
No,
Oh,
do
come
the next
on.
one, do the next
I
one.
learned a
We
lot.
want to hear it. We want more.
I learned a lot. I did. I learned things I didn't know before. It's like you're a teacher or something.
Something like that.
The microphone's going out.
What?
The microphone's going out?
I can't hear you very well.
Really? We're probably just laughing too much.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No, you sound like you're in a tunnel.
Really? Oh, okay. Maybe you have a bad connection. It'll probably pop back on in just a little bit.
Okay.
You sound okay to us, so.
All right, came back. You're right.
Told you.
I think that's what happens when you turn the volume back on because he's finished. Back
Jose's part.
That's it. I'm not doing no more.
Ladies have a sandwich.
No, it's a
sandwich.
Sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
Sandwich.
That's what it
Go ahead.
says.
Go ahead. Read the next one. Read the next movie.
I don't want to do it. No.
I'm going to read it then.
No, I don't want to do it.
Read it.
Which one?
Read it.
Which one is it?
He wants us to
come
beg.
on.
Read it. Read it. Read
All
it.
right. Y'all did y'all's homework. All right, okay. The other movie I picked, which I also read, and I read it in high school, The Color Purple. One of you guys ever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by Alice Walker. But the movie 1985, Color Purple, directed by Steven Spielberg. So at the time, that was his 8th film. Up to that point, he had only done mostly summer blockbuster movies.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't sure if he could do it. It sounds kind of crazy right now that you think about when you think about Steven Spielberg, right? But he was approached by Quincy Jones, I think it was the music producer, and he was also a producer in a movie, and he asked him to do it. And even though he kind of refused because he he thought maybe a black director would do a better job, they finally convinced him to do the movie. Also, because Quincy Jones, the producer, Quincy Jones also does the music. So that means that it's the first movie that Spielberg does without his companion, John Williams, who he always did movies with. Yeah, so up to that point.
Wow.
Alice Walker also had a lot of creative control in the process of the movie. So she requested Whoopi Goldberg to do it. At the time, Goldberg was just a comedian. And in fact, her audition was doing a joke where she played a drunk E.T. She did in front of Steven Spielberg, so she was pretending she was E.T. that was drunk. But they wanted a lot of people who were not very well known. So I mean, we all know who Whoopi Goldberg is now, but at the time she wasn't that well known as far as an actress.
Really?
Oprah
Well,
Winfrey
as an
too.
actress, yes.
Oprah Winfrey. I think she only had one other movie credit before that. It wasn't even a starring thing. Oprah Winfrey, who at the time had only been a host of her show. Ray Don Chong. There's a whole bunch of other actors and stuff, and so they were saying that they wanted to they did it on purpose to make it seem like as the movie progressed, you're not really paying attention at the actor and going wow, that's so and so. You're more paying attention to the story and how they grow and how they develop at the end. There was a lot of controversy because the book deals a lot of things like domestic violence, incest, pedophilia, poverty, racism, sexism. The book has even been banned in some places, and the movie too was even picketed by the NAACP, which is a black group, because they thought it portrayed black people in a really bad,
Negative, right?
in a negative light. It was nominated for 11 Academy Awards, and it won none of them.
Wow.
Not a single one. And Spielberg didn't even get nominated for Best Director. So it's the movie that holds the record for the most nominations without an Academy Award win. Let's see. Alice Walker also was reluctant to sell the rights when she was first considering it, but she said, "Okay, I'll let y'all make the movie as long as 50% of the crew is either black, women, or some kind of people of color." So that was the only condition that she would allow that. So she gave a lot of people of color and women a chance, because in the past everybody worked in Hollywood was white. So much stuff here.
Well, I have a question. Since it didn't win any awards, I was wondering what did win Best Picture that year. Does anybody?
I don't know. I didn't get to see what it was.
Okay. What year was
What
it?
year did it come out?
It was 1985.
1985?
Yeah.
The competition was up against, because that doesn't seem fair.
All right.
11 Academy Award nominations, no wins. That's crazy.
Spielberg, up to that point, had been asking for $15 million per movie. Because he thought he couldn't do the movie, he told Quincy Jones, "I'll do it for the bare minimum, which is $40,000."
Wow.
So he passed the $15 million because he thought if he screwed up, Ooh! Amadeus, which is another one of my favorite movies. They also had considered for Shug, which is the woman that sings in the movie, Tina Turner, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, but they ended up going with a Broadway actress instead by the name of Margaret Avery. And then in 2005 they made it into a musical. I don't know, that's kind of a weird movie to make into a musical.
I don't think I've seen her.
Because it deals with all that really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And for next year, 2023, Spielberg, Quincy Jones, and Oprah got together to film a version of the musical, which is going to be released next year.
What? Really?
Kind of like that, yeah. But
Wow.
it's going to be a color purple musical.
Huh.
So I don't know. The themes are kind of heavy, so I don't know how that's going to work in the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be like
It's a dramatic, a dramatic version, I guess.
Yeah. Although it does have a happy ending, based on the movie.
Yeah.
If you think of Tick Tick Boom, which was really big last year, it was more dramatic than comedic, so maybe. I guess it could be done.
All right, so that's my color.
Next.
Y'all begged me for it.
Next movie.
All right. Number 3 out of 59. No, that was it. I just had those two movies.
Good. Okay. Well, those were pretty good.
Mm-hmm. We learned a lot.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
I need to please.
So I guess, well, I have a question, but I think maybe we should take a quick break and then come back to our question.
Right.
And then we'll finish off.
We'll be back.
Teaser.
Yes.
Oh, and The Godfather is another
Oh yeah.
major movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's repping.
Right. Mario Puzo.
All right. Be right back.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I'm a big fan of that one.
There we are.
We're on, and we are back.
All right.
Hey, Susan, you can hear us okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, so we are wrapping up our discussion on books turned into movies, some of our choices. My question was, I was just thinking about, is there a book that you would like to see turned into a movie? Whether or not it could be actually pulled off, we don't know. But is there a book that you in particular would like to see turned into a movie?
You're asking all of us?
Yeah.
Most of the movies, books I've read have been turned into movies. So I'm trying to think of one.
One that has it,
that
yeah.
has not. Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, it's well, no, then I'm
Or
cheating.
even if
Cheating
it's
if I say it, because there's a book Dune, and it got made into a movie, which I thought was weird, and I remember as a kid liking it, but then when I saw it when I was older, I was like, this movie sucks.
The new one or the
The one with the Lynch guy,
David Lynch.
David Lynch, and then when I saw the new one, I was like, oh, this is like way better. And so they finally did it like. Right, yeah. And I haven't read the whole book. I didn't really like the book that much. I just like the movie better than the book, and most people usually say it the other way around, right? Oh, I like the book better, but I couldn't get to the book. It was boring me. And the movie obviously was kind of interesting. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say it doesn't have to be one that hasn't been made. I guess if you want to pick one to remake so that it's better, you could do that.
Oh gosh. See, I've always said that they need to remake bad movies, not good movies. You know, because that's a lot of pressure, and a lot of times they don't succeed.
Right. Yes.
At doing a better job than the original. That's why it's called the classic. You know, they need to remake bad movies. And I can think of a bunch of bad movies. I just don't know if they're based on books or not. And I may say, oh, I know what book, but maybe it's already been made into a movie that didn't get a lot of publicity or was poorly made.
That's fine.
So it's difficult to answer your question. I need some time to think about that. Anybody else want to go while I'm thinking by the way the wheels start turning?
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. I'm with you.
No, Curious George, right? Okay, well, I'll let you think about it for a little bit. Susan, what about you? Is there a movie that you would like to see made into a book that you would like to see made into a movie?
No, I have no idea right now.
No idea? Wow. Nobody really? Okay. Do y'all read?
Comment.
Hey! Uncultured
It's okay, never mind. I'll just throw that question out. Forget it. Forget I even asked.
Don't eat your Shawshank sandwich.
It's a bog
my God.
The Shawshank sandwich, Old Maid.
Please.
Well, I'll tell you one that I would like.
Okay, well, you're doing that.
Yeah, you think of one, yeah. If you like really gory stories, a few years ago, I'm going to tell you about maybe 6 years back, I read a story called The Monstromologist. And let me tell you who the author is, because I don't remember the name of the author. But it's called The Monstromologist. It is very gory. It is a kind of creature feature type thing. But it was really good. And I would love to be able to see that made into a movie, although I don't know if it could because of the creature. Well, I guess with maybe some CG effects, it might be possible, but it's really really a creepy monster. The author's name is Rick Yancey, Yancey, Rick Yancey. It is a series of books. There's like 4 different volumes, I guess you could call it. I think I've read 3 of them. I don't remember reading the 4th one. But yeah, if y'all want like a really creepy, gruesome, gory creature feature type thing, check out The Monstromologist.
I don't think they can make it in the movie.
You don't think
a very good movie? I read that book.
You read it? I don't know. I think they could try. I think the creature's kind of hard to like do, but given a really good CG artists, they might be able to pull it off. I don't know. Maybe. But if I could turn something into a movie, it would be that one.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to throw one out that, so I because again, I'm under the gun here. I haven't read the book or seen the movie, but the movie was panned pretty much by everyone, and that's The Bonfire of the Vanities, which is based on a bestseller. So I would think that they would do a better job if they tried again.
Remaking it.
Because The Bonfire of the Vanities was an awful movie. Based on everybody I've ever known, critics, everybody hates that movie. But it's based on a very popular novel, so I would think that would be a good place to start.
A remake, okay. Redo.
That's an old book, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm old.
Doesn't have to be one from today.
That's a
I
classic.
don't know where
Wow, Susan.
Excuse me, I need a nap now.
I think it's the movie. It's the one they had out now, just outdated, like you said. Just, so that's why I see it as a book as outdated.
Oh.
But I haven't read it either, so I don't know what it's about.
Oh.
You just know it's old, like me.
It didn't catch my interest when I did see that book.
Interesting. Okay. You come up with anything?
Don't
else?
say Frankenstein, whatever you do, because that's old.
Yeah, okay. I think that's been done already.
Yeah, well, it's old though.
Silver versions. And Dracula too, and
Ooh, wow! Don't say the Ten Commandments. That's really
and the
old.
Mummy.
That's ancient. Okay, whatever you say. That's old. You can't. I'm not. It has to be from the 80s or
Oh my
earlier.
God. Oh, okay, gotcha.
But isn't that book from the 80s or something?
Oh God! I told you.
Melanie Griffith in there?
Yeah, she's still alive.
She's old too.
Alive.
Oh, I didn't say anything about that.
Sorry, Melanie.
No filter here.
All right. Anyone else?
I'm afraid to say anything now.
Sorry. It's just, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I've seen it, pass by on TV, and it's just not a movie that, And what is it about?
I don't know.
Tires?
I'm just saying it was a terrible movie. Everybody says it's a terrible movie.
Really?
Terrible old movie.
I mean, it's, yeah. Well, I'm going to regress back to your musical.
The Color Purple?
Did you hear they want to make the musical for Joker?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They do?
Trying to get Lady Gaga to play that movie.
Wow.
I don't know Joaquin Phoenix is much of a singer.
Yeah, he sang in the movies.
Which movie?
He played.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but Johnny Cash is easy to do. He would have to sing in his own voice.
Let's see you do Johnny Cash then, since you're so.
See, I don't see that as a musical.
Oh, there's a train coming down the line.
No. Please stop, my ears are bleeding.
I don't know where. Sing along now. Here we go. Everybody.
That's the lounge act version.
We're going to do our podcast down the line.
Sounds more like Bill Murray.
Remember
Hey, at least I made the attempt.
Did y'all go to see, I heard, they had a showing of Singing in the Rain yesterday. I really wanted to go see it, but I was so dead tired from work, I did not make it out there. Did any of you go?
Did you go watch it on HBO Max?
No, because I found out that you
HBO for free.
yeah, it's true. But no,
Okay.
you have to. I mean, I prefer to see movies at the big screen, but from what I understand, you can order your tickets online, and because like the last movie that we were talking about that they were showing, I went online, it was already sold out. Like, okay,
Really?
I'm not gonna go. What was the other one? Was it Casablanca? Yeah, it was sold
I
out.
told too.
Yeah. Oh, ever heard of that movie, Susan?
Yeah, it's old.
Oh.
It's old. Very
She's
old.
heard
On
it,
HBO.
She's never seen it.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm not paying $15 to see it.
You
I could buy the movie.
Star Wars Part 9 or whatever.
I didn't pay $15 to see that.
Yes, you did. You went to go see the movie. You went to buy popcorn. You went to buy soda. That was more than $15 right there. You went to.
No, that's what. Yeah, that wasn't just the ticket though.
Well, I don't know.
Are they really charging $15 to see those movies? Like,
Yeah, remember? Belinda wanted-
What? It's like between 10 and 15, somewhere in there.
No, it was 15. Don't try to bring it down again. You said 15.
She said it's 15. Excuse me.
Yeah, Texas Public
You
Radio.
said it was $15.
wow.
But I think it goes to Texas Public
It
Radio,
does.
doesn't it?
It goes to
Like a
Texas
donation,
Public Radio,
yeah.
TPR, and
I want a T-shirt then.
Oh. But I think it's worth it. But I just was too tired.
Yeah.
So Bernal Casablanca was at the Northwest.
I think that's where
Because what I understand, they're going to start showing them in different places since they got rid of the feature.
That's what Belinda said, didn't?
which really still sucks. But
I
okay,
don't like
whatever. Yeah.
Miss Mose went.
Yes, she did.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she posted about something about that.
Yeah. Our friend Barbara Moles. I don't know if she watches us or listens to us, but yeah, she went.
Probably not.
Probably not. She's not our one fan.
I don't think anybody does.
She's at the movies. She's not watching us. So.
Guys, can y'all please let us know something about how we're doing? We don't hear enough from you guys. We're begging you, please. Just like we begged Jose earlier. Yeah, we like to have more than just the one fan who asks us when Jose is not here.
Come on.
You put them towards the end, so
you gotta go visit your mom more often.
She already didn't like this anyway.
No, but really, yes, please do to go to our website, go to our podcast. We're now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Anchor. And obviously, we're still on YouTube. You can catch the video version of our podcast there. And then we are pretty much, well, we have a Twitter and an
Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook.
But probably our biggest place to be is Facebook. We're constantly posting stuff on there. So visit us.
Constantly posting garbage.
Visit us, give us a comment, let us know how we're doing, and if there's anything that you all want us to talk about.
Tell your friends.
We're running out of ideas, guys. We need your help. Tell your enemies.
Tell your enemies too.
So yeah, hopefully we'll be doing a few more of these in-person podcasts. So now that we can spend a little bit of time together. Mike, when do you have some concerts coming up pretty soon? You're going to be leaving town for a bit?
No, I'll be here for the rest of the month.
For the rest of the month?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not too sure about the beginning of July, but for sure I'll be going by mid-July.
Well, I think we'll have time. Yeah, we'll have time to do another show with Mike present, and hopefully Susan can eventually show up as well, so we can see her. And then school will be upon us real quick, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not think about that right now.
Yeah, we're not gonna think about that. So I have another week of summer school.
Shut up.
You just got shushed.
Yeah, I did get shushed.
I'm going to sandwich.
Oh, all righty. Well, anything else y'all want to talk about before we close up?
Anyone see any movies?
Huh?
Anyone see any movies that come out yet?
Not yet, and I probably won't have a chance until after next week.
I watched the
Just
last
asking.
picture show last night on streaming.
The last picture show?
Never seen that.
That's like the one.
Yeah.
Civil Shepherd.
Civil Shepherd.
And
That's
You
all.
did it!
yes, I know.
Sorry.
Hey, Susan, believe it or not, who watches movies like that?
We do.
Us old.
We don't discriminate. We love all movies. Well, we don't love all movies, but we love watching all kinds of movies. Oh, somebody's getting woke up.
Doing this for Susan.
We have a special guest.
Oh, special guest. You have a kitty sighting. Oh, look at that poor baby. We have
Aww. He's orange. Oh, is it she or you?
It's a she.
She's orange.
What the hell are y'all doing?
see back.
Who are these people? When are they leaving?
He's poopy. Poopy.
What is
She's
the
so cute.
what is the cat's name?
Arabella. I didn't name it, but that's the cat's name. She's still confused right now. Like,
Do you want us to sandwich? Huh? Do you want us to sandwich? We'll make one.
You wanna watch some more movies?
Oh, she's adorable. Aww. All right. Well,
that
I
was you,
guess
Susan.
unless anybody else has another comment, question.
Any questions? No. Cat lady, cat girl, what?
Snacks?
All right. Well, then I guess that's going to be it for us. And be sure to check us out on the web pages, websites, everything that we have posted down here below us, down here on the table somewhere.
No, it's giving you.
We will. Don't touch her.
You don't watch your hands.
Why don't touch her?
Nothing. I'm just kidding. She doesn't like to be touched. Like Jose.
Whatever. Anybody.
She was giving him the eyes.
Well,
Poor
probably.
baby.
So whenever you talk, she sees the cat on the screen. She goes,
What's that? So I guess that is it. We will see you in a couple of weeks, hopefully with another riveting subject for you all to listen to. And we'll try to keep it not so lame and old for Susan. And and I guess that's gonna be it. Everybody want to say bye?
Yeah.
Bye.